Bringing in now Mike Quigley, Democratic congressman from Illinois, the only House Democrat, in fact, to vote against the short-term measure that averted a shutdown to keep the government open for 45 days because it did not include any money for Ukraine. So, Congressman Quigley, would you vote for Speaker McCarthy to keep him in office?
Well, I think that first vote Saturday reinforces why I wouldn't want to help Speaker McCarthy. He put out a bill and passed it to save gas stoves, but he wouldn't put money out to save Ukrainian lives. So, and look, you know, I was in the room on January 6th when the far right crazies attacked our democracy and our Capitol. The next day, Speaker McCarthy said that he blamed Trump for that. And then later, he attacked the January 6th panel and tried to delegitimize that. So it's hard to support a guy who you can't trust, who works against the interests that you care about most.
What is the alternative, though? Because if there's no speaker in place, there's paralysis. Nothing can get passed, including a separate deal on Ukraine.
Look, it wasn't going to happen under Speaker McCarthy anyway. And again, this is their civil war. So at this point, if the best we can say about McCarthy is he might be better than somebody else that we put in place, and that's a tough vote to take.
Tell us what happened in the caucus meeting today.
Look, today, the first half of the meeting is regular business. Second half of the meeting's how this is going to proceed, because none of us have been through just this process. And then I think the rest of it is listening to what the members of the caucus had to say about this and what they thought we should do.
And what's your take on where the caucus is headed?
I don't think Speaker McCarthy is going to get any help from this caucus. Let me reinforce. It's another reason I voted no on Saturday, because I thought it was our last best chance to do it. We had the votes to do it then. This is an unforced error. And unfortunately, all this chaos and that vote was a victory for Putin.
But let me ask you this also, because I know how important Ukraine is to you and how you've voted on that before. If there's nothing that's going to get passed, isn't that worse for Ukraine than at least the agreement that has McCarthy, McConnell, Schumer, and the president on it from Saturday night, which would be that there will be a separate bill on Ukraine, which may or may not have most likely would have border money in it, too?
Look, absolutely no guarantees were made. The fact is, last Thursday, the House voted roughly 2/3 of the vote for a separate bill funding Ukraine. Further evidence that we had the votes to accomplish that. So, look, I get the chaos is there. We didn't bring it about. We simply can't help a speaker who we know will bring more chaos and renege on everything he's made promises to. Just remember, all this was avoidable in January. In June, there was a deal to avoid the debt ceiling issue and to fund the government. A week later, the speaker reneged on that and lied about the fact that he had made any promises.
And one more thing also, I keep saying one more thing, but I've got so many questions to ask you because you were in the room today, in the room where it happened. How big a deal was the impeachment hearing that McCarthy let happen last Thursday in House Oversight?
Look, the list is long of legitimate reasons people are mad. A baseless impeachment inquiry. He censored Schiff on the floor for no good reason. He kicked Swalwell, Omar, and Schiff off committees for no good reason. So there's a long list of grievances. So I think pretty much the caucus's consensus is, sure, we could do worse, but how can you support somebody who has been this bad for the issues that we care about?